Today on the podcast, we have Johnny Buckley, who is the general manager and son of the owner of Kerry Coaches. Kerry Coaches is our partner in transportation for Ireland. Johnny Buckley also plays a big part in Gaelic football in Ireland. We're going to hear all about how Gaelic football is a part of the culture in Ireland and hear all about his career and how Gaelic football is seen and heard around the country. Thank you and enjoy. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Travel Rolly Podcast. Today, we've got Johnny Buckley. He is a general manager for Kerry Coaches. It's our new partner for traveling over in Ireland. Johnny, thank you for being on with us. How are you doing today?
All good, Hayden. All good. Thank you for having me.
Good. So what's the weather like over there right now?
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Like we don't expect much sunshine this time of the year. But no, it's good. It's good. Temperatures are up. So we're only a couple of weeks out from Christmas, and we haven't seen any snow yet. So no, it's all good. All good.
Yeah, it's December, and our weather, we're in the 70s a couple of days of the week. It's kind of weird, but it's great golf weather. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
normally,
yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, 100%.
Y'all getting out any?
Playing a small bit. Yeah, just the last couple of weeks got out once or twice. So there's still kind of wet underfoot, especially in the local clubs. The links are holding up a bit better, just taking in the rain a bit better. But no, we plan now a day out with all the drivers this Friday. We do a big event every Christmas, so we'll have maybe 30 or 40 guys playing in an annual tournament on Friday. So look forward to that.
Sweet, that's awesome. I love it when a group, any company does an outing. It's so much fun. Hopefully, y'all have.
I think it's going to be the 26th year of it. So it's been going on for a few years now. So no, we look forward to that. Should be a good day out.
Great, awesome. So you're a new father, right? When did that happen?
Yes, yeah. We welcomed Otis to the family there last summer in 2020, and we've another one on the way now in April. So 2020 is going to be 2022 is going to be a busy year in lots of ways.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
It's exciting. Second one, right? So you already had the training wheels off, right? This next one's going to be a bicycle.
Yeah,
without training wheels.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it should be all fun and games. So not just I suppose one of the upsides of COVID, if there is such a thing, that for first we got to spend that extra bit of time with him, because the summers are normally crazy around here with the work and business and stuff. So just a positive of the whole thing to be able to chill out with him a bit more. So it was good.
Gotcha. Did you have a lot of free time during COVID?
Yeah, well, I suppose from a business point of view, we really just nearly closed up shop in March of last year. So it was a crazy few weeks. We had heard about this. Obviously COVID-19 and how it was affecting other places, but it's until it kind of hits your door that it was hard to believe the effect it would have on all of us. So on the Friday the 13th of March last year, 2020, we closed down really for the most part, because all our stuff, our kind of overseas visitors and all that, our main market, and even locally, there was lockdowns and restrictions. So any group travel or any coaching requirements kind of came to a halt for last year. And it wasn't until the latter part of this year, 2021, that we saw any sort of a normal return to group travel again. So it was it had a major effect on us.
Well, we're glad that y'all made it through. Obviously, it's starting to pick up now, so hopefully the bad parts of COVID and what it does to companies is over with, and we can continue to raise up. And I know we're starting to book trips, so that's a good sign for you guys.
Yeah, no, it's great, because I suppose no sooner have we kind of gone from looking at a yard full of vehicles down the yard, and we're sick of this item, having looked at them for the last couple of years. Now we're trying to deal with the huge bookings that are coming through for next year. So we have regular meetings here in the office, looking at the kind of peak periods of when the travel is coming in, and it really feels like in a lot of ways that you almost have 3 years travel trying to come in one. So you've you've all the groups that have postponed over the last couple of years. So if 2022 transpires to be anything like what it's looking like at the moment, it's going to be a crazy year for us, for golf in Ireland in general. And for the whole kind of hospitality and tourism industry. So it's looking like a busy one.
Yeah, everybody is ready to travel. And looks like 2022 is the year where everybody is just going to bombard all at the same time, and everything's going to be booked up. It's going to be pretty crazy. But so you've been having a look at your fleet for almost over a year now. How many vehicles do you have in your fleet? Tell us about your fleet.
So there's about 80 vehicles in total. So that's a mix from say your saloon cars, right all the way up to the full size touring coaches. So our main business during the summer would be the high end kind of golf market. And for that we tailor made a lot of vehicles for that purpose. So we've all been in golf trips, and it's nice to come in off the course and sit down in a comfortable chair and have a table, have a few beers if you want to play a bit of cards and stuff. So for the group golf side of stuff, we do tailor made our vehicles for that. We get the vehicles manufactured across in a couple of different factories in Europe. So every year we travel over to Germany or Portugal or Turkey to visit the manufacturers and get in and touch and see the vehicle just before it goes into final production, pick out interiors, seats, layouts, that sort of stuff. And we also worked in with some local carpenters here in Killarney who would fit some custom made furniture, tables, built-in fridges, that sort of stuff for us here. So there's kind of a mix throughout the whole fleet. There's a mix of vehicles, but for groups of a couple coming over to Ireland on a chauffeur program, or a couple coming over golfing, right up to the larger coaches, and obviously taking care of multi-coach movements then as well on top of everything. So there's a nice mix, but it has always been and always will be a main focus of ours to have a top class fleet, and thankfully we've been able to do so.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures of the coach, the big buses, and they look very luxurious, great for golfers after a round to have a drink at the table, and seems perfect for that type of
trip.
Absolutely.
And look, it's been on for a good few years now, so we're kind of we've got decades of feedback and know what people want. So we just literally we're lucky enough to have relationships with the manufacturers where we sit down and just kind of put together what we want in the vehicle, and they kind of pull through on their end as well. So it's a good mix.
Yeah, your company's been very successful in the past. What do you think contributes to y'all being successful for such a long period of time?
Well, the company itself has been going on for close on 65 years. So, and for the last maybe 3 decades, a huge portion of that has been the golf side of stuff and the touring. It's always been a focus, and I think always will be as well, is the drivers. So we can all go out and get the nicest vehicles in the country and all the rest of it, and that plays a big part. But for us, very much so, it's the drivers that are the main reason for the success of Kerry Coaches. So I'm in my early 30s, and there's a lot of guys that are with us for that amount of years, and some that are with us for even over that. So we have a great team of drivers that we have a great relationship with. They're drivers and they're friends of ours. We normally do a big Christmas party, but this year we've changed that with the group gatherings and that sort of stuff. So not only have we the golf this week, but we're going for a kind of a bit of a hike in a couple of days with all the guys. So there's a great relationship between the office, the drivers on the road, and their experience is what it's all about. You know, a lot of them are golfers themselves, and just know the golf courses inside out. You're pulling into a golf course, and you're getting a first-hand experience of the holes to look out for, the holes to look forward to. And that sort of stuff. So it plays a huge part. You know, they're probably the person a group is going to meet most when they're in the country. You know, you're passing through hotels and you're passing through golf courses, but your driver is with you from as soon as you get off the plane to dropping you back to the plane. So he plays a huge part in that whole experience, and thankfully we've a great team down here.
Do you think that is one of the main differences in y'all and other coach companies, is that the drivers have such experience on the courses in the area, and you're really not just getting a driver, you're getting a tour guide.
Yeah, very much so. And again, a lot of guys they spend the winter traveling over to what are now friends of theirs that they met on a golf course or met with Kerry Coaches over the years, and all of a sudden you're getting lifelong friends out of it. And I know a lot of guys have been driving the same groups year after year, and it's just part of their annual schedule now to meet up with their bunch of buddies and go off again. We have to call it work for legal reasons, but I think a lot of them go on holidays as part of the whole thing. But yeah, they do. They're the most important thing in the whole trip.
We have a very crazy story, don't we, with my partner Jeff. He was telling you a story about a guy that he met in a bar after a golf round and mentioned the name to you. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that story?
Yeah, so we had a chat with Jeff a number of months ago, and just totally out of the blue, starting telling me the story about a guy he met in a bar with his partner at the time, and how they had such a great time, and they've been messaging since, and started going on about this guy. And there's 7 million people in Ireland, so it could have been any one of them. And as it turned out, believe it or not, true story, but Willie Murphy is one of our drivers. So it's a very small world. So we got a good kick out of that when Jeff told us that one.
That was insane. I was there in that conversation as well, and just could not imagine y'all actually having contact in relationships with Willie. And now Willie's going to be one of our preferred drivers, of course, because him and Jeff have grown fond of each other. So there's no better driver for us. Hopefully he's available whenever we need him.
Yeah, no, Willie's great, as Jeff well knows. And yeah, I was talking to Willie recently, so he's all excited about the 22 season. So yeah, we can line Willie up for any of the tours, no problem.
Has the workers, what did they have to do during the lockdown? Did they have, some of them have to find new jobs, or did they kind of wait around on most of them back?
There was a mix, I suppose, and a lot of our guys would be of maybe of an older generation, and they might have had previous jobs and be on certain pensions and stuff for that, or mightn't have the same necessity to work, being in their 60s. So the pressure wasn't on. We had another cohort of drivers that would be younger guys with families and mortgages to pay and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of those guys went off temporarily. Thankfully, driving delivery vehicles, driving trucks, getting involved in the hospitality and hotels, because that would be quite fitting to the work we're doing here. But again, a lot of guys went off, are doing that work up until next spring, and are looking forward to getting back on the road properly for the season next year.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, I'm glad a lot of those guys are gonna be able to come back and have a good schedule coming into 2022. For people considering driving themselves in Ireland, besides telling them not to, what would you what would be your advice for coming from America?
This isn't a business pitch, but definitely 5 or 6 times every year we get phone calls from operators like yourselves, with guys that have picked up their self-drive car, have pulled out of Dublin Airport, and everything's fine coming out of Dublin Airport and all the city roads and that sort of stuff, because your lanes, it's similar to the States driving, but it's when you get over to this part of the country and you're playing the links golf, and you're trying to get from Waterville to Ballybunion, and you end up in some scary kind of roads that you want a lot of experience in driving. So it's totally up to the group. Self-drives work for some groups, but if you want to relax and have your couple of pints and have that experience of your local driver, we definitely recommend taking the driving option. It's just overall it's a lot less stressful, lot more enjoyable trip.
Yeah, anybody I've talked to that's gone and did a self-drive definitely recommends getting a driver for the next time, because it's just not worth it. The cars are obviously different side of the road, and then if you get a manual vehicle, you're using the opposite hand. They definitely advised future trips for acquiring a self driver or
Yeah,
a
definitely.
driver for
A driver and vehicle. Yeah, no, definitely. We recommend it. And again, the self-drive option adds a lot of logistics for the group. There's rules in Ireland about alcohol and driving, so the limit is pretty much zero now. So it kind of eliminates that option for the group as well. So it kind of adds a whole different element when you have to pick a designated Dave for each of the days golf and stuff like that. So no, we just find that from feedback that the driver option is a lot more relaxed and a lot more enjoyable.
Gotcha. So what's next for Kerry Coaches?
Kerry Coaches. So the big aim at the moment is to just get ready for the 22 season. We have a natural season here within the business over the years anyway, taking COVID aside, where you have your crazy busy 8 months of the year, kind of from March to the end of October, and you're catching your breath then up until Christmas and getting ready again for the following season. So at the moment it's just trying to take care of as many operators as we can in the bookings and confirming them up for them. Driver training will be a huge part of the next couple of months, and getting guys that have possibly been off the road for 18 months or 2 years, getting them trained up as well. So just getting everything, the whole business, the after side of stuff, the drivers, the vehicles, everything just ready to start picking up groups again, and getting back to what we all enjoy doing and what Kerry Coaches is used to doing.
Well, that's awesome. I hope everything goes smoothly, getting back into the rhythm of things.
Yeah.
So Johnny, from what we know, you have had a pretty good career and having a good career in what y'all call Gaelic football. First of all, we need to explain what Gaelic football is, because a lot of the people listening to this are probably not going to have a clue. And then tell us about your career so far with Gaelic football.
Yeah, so Gaelic football again, it's something I played all my life. As soon as I could walk, you're kind of handed a football, and especially in this part of the country where we are, Kerry, the county we're in, would be the most famous county in the country, have the most All Ireland medals for Gaelic football. So it's part of growing up down here, and a huge part of the culture. The sport itself is kind of a hard one to explain. It's quite a physical sport. The best explanation to summarize it would be somewhere between soccer and rugby. So you play with a round ball, similar to soccer, but you use your hands, similar to rugby, and a lot of that physicality of rugby comes through as well. So you have a similar goal to soccer, with extended posts above it, like American football.
Yeah.
That you'd know well, Hayden. So it's a similar goal to that. And again, it's two teams of 15 play against each other. And yeah, again, look, if you want to, anyone that has any interest, pop it into YouTube, and there's plenty highlights and stuff of the big games over the years. So how it works then on a practical level is every team or every town and every village in the country would have a Gaelic football team. So again, every village in the country is said to have three things: a church, a Gaelic football field, and a pub. So that summarizes Ireland quite well, I think. So it's a big part of everything. So every player would play with their local club, and then if you go up to the next level, you play with the inter-county teams. So in Ireland, there are 32 counties, and they play in an All-Ireland Championship every year. So all the best players from each county join together to form the county team. Again, it's an amateur sport. There's no switching alliances. It's basically where you're from is where you play with. So there's a lot of pride involved in that side of stuff. And you play in the All Ireland Championship then every year. So I'm coming to the latter part of my career. I've thankfully had the opportunity to play with my local club and also with Kerry over the past decade or so, and have won an All Ireland with both, which is ultimately
Sweet.
the ultimate aim for as a footballer is to win an All Ireland. So thankfully was able to win one with Kerry in 2014, and I captained my local team then in 2017 to win the All Ireland, which was a very special one because again your club. You're playing with the guys that you grew up with. My father had won an All Ireland, the only other ever won in the club 25 years previous, and he was there on the day and a selector on the sideline. So the club is always a special one because you have that all them connections and family members and all that sort of stuff. So no, looking back, very lucky to have played and stayed reasonably healthy throughout the whole thing, injury free and stuff. So no, very happy with the career, and it was a very enjoyable experience.
So you officially retiring?
Not quite. We had our last game. We had our last game of the season yesterday
Okay.
with the local club. So I finished in 2018 with the intercounty team with the Kerry panel. So I've been playing with the club since. So we won a local final yesterday. So if you felt how I feel today, you'd be thinking about retiring too, Hayden. But we'll see. I might get another year or so, but we'll time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah. An injury kind of forced my retirement last year, so who knows in the future? But for now, I am actually done with American football. So
Okay.
But how did COVID affect the Gaelic football seasons? Did y'all kind of have to take a year off?
Yeah, it was no last year, 2020. The COVID numbers, and we kind of got a handle on COVID towards the latter part of the summer.
Yeah.
So the whole international travel and stuff didn't get going, but on a local level, things kind of started to open up. So we have had certain competitions that weren't able to be played, but over the last couple of years, the big competitions got to go ahead. So the All Irelands were played last year, 2020, and also this year. So the seasons and timings have changed around slightly, but overall, because it was such a lot of local games and
Yeah.
numbers were limited, but the seasons got to pan out as pretty much as planned.
Are fans able to get out to the games
Yeah,
now? Are
so
they starting to come back more and more?
yeah, so again, like you probably saw the soccer and the big events in Europe, we're playing to empty stadiums, and it was similar to that for the GA for a lot of times, but for the most part, kind of at limited capacities. There was always some sort of spectators at the game. So the All Ireland final this year was played in Croke Park. So normally the games would hold about 80,000 people, and there was about 40,000 people at the games at the final this year. So overall, it wasn't too bad.
I got you. I have a question. So in America, American soccer is called football in Europe. Do
Mm-hmm.
y'all ever have trouble with people getting them confused? Gaelic football.
Not so much. Not so much here. Here it's very much. If you say football in Ireland, it only means one thing. It's Gaelic football, and soccer then is called
Okay.
soccer.
Okay.
But
Is that
if you
just
were to,
Ireland?
yeah, I think it's just Ireland because we have Gaelic football, and that's the main sport and would be the primary sport here. I think that's definitely football here is our local sport, and soccer then
Gotcha.
is the other variant. But again, we're fully aware. We're fully aware that it will be called football in the States. So if we were to have a chat and you were to bring football into the equation, we'd have a bit of clarification to
Yeah.
be doing. Yeah.
Well, now I know. Now I know. So,
Yeah.
is there soccer played in Ireland much?
There is, yeah. Again, the Gaelic football and hurling, which would be there's two Irish sports. One is Gaelic football and the other is hurling. Which if you think Gaelic football is crazy, you'd have to check out hurling because
Yeah, I've heard.
that's guys hitting each other's with sticks. But again, it's Kerry where we are would be very much a football county, and football would be the main sport here. And again, throughout Ireland, there's a hurling county and a football county, and some counties can manage to play both at a high level. So both codes are very popular. And again, there's basketball, there's soccer. There's no American football, unfortunately, but there's a lot of other sports played here, but the local ones would be the primary ones for sure.
Sweet, that's awesome. So Kerry Coaches has kind of got some a legacy to it, right? The owner's son, general manager, all winners in the what did you call it?
The All Ireland. So
All
we
Ireland,
have So we call it the club or the county. So the county would be the amalgamated team of all the different clubs, and your club then would be your local team. So it's the club All Ireland the championship, and then the county All Ireland championship. So Mike was on the team in 1992 when they won. And there was a huge amount of father and son combinations from that, and different relationships. So it was always a special one when you play with the club.
Yeah, that's awesome. Here in the States, you have fans that are kind of chill, just like to be fans, cheer for you, and then you have fans that dress up, paint their face, scream the whole time in the game. What kind of fans do y'all have, and does it differ like that?
It differs, I suppose. Your club is a funny one because, as I say, there's no choice in the matter. You can't. Your club is your club, and it's where you're from, and it's your parish that you're from. So there's a huge amount of pride and that sort of stuff. So as for the color and the big day out, and I know the match days in the States are huge events. It probably differs slightly from that, in that it's a load of 70-year-old guys coming out of the pub and rocking up to the game, that making sure we win because they won the 1977 final and this kind of stuff. So the club will be slightly different in that way. So to give you an example, the club county final that we play in regularly might have maybe 10 to 12,000 at the game, because you have just two parishes in theory playing against each other, and then you have a bit of outside interest. So the All Ireland finals we would have played at with county. We'd be playing in front of 80 to 82,000 people up in Dublin for those games. So the county scene then would have again, it's still all amateur, but would have, that kind of, it'd be on live on TV, and you have all that glitz and glamour involved in that side of stuff. So that's how the two of them would differ.
So you said it's all amateur, so that means that people are doing this with their jobs. Do y'all have to? How does the schedule work? Is it just weekends, weeknights?
And also, to be honest with you, it is a massive commitment, the county setup. So basically it's 7 days a week. You know yourself from the professional side of stuff that we all have to work, but ultimately you're training 3 or 4 times a week. You're getting your recovery sessions and your gym sessions in the other days. So when you're in the middle of a season, it's all encompassing really. So it put a lot of pressure, especially from a work point of view. A lot of guys would choose a certain career to allow them to play sport at that high level. Thankfully here, I was able to do both, mainly because we had a great office team here, and Mike, my old man, took a lot of the brunt of stuff. So it was difficult at times, because there was times I was parked in the car outside the training session with 10 phone calls flying of a bus trying to going missing here, or flights delayed, and all that sort of stuff. So it was a tough balance at times, but because of Mike taking on a lot of the brunt of the work, and a great office team here, I was able to manage both.
Gotcha. Well, that's awesome. I will definitely have to go and watch a couple games, get some experience, and kind of feel the culture of the game. It's always fun hearing, how different countries have different sports, and that's Gaelic football to y'all is like football, baseball, and basketball to us. It's just like it's what your country does. Oh, and soccer, of course. Soccer is huge here. I just didn't grow up with it. My wife and her whole family, they're huge soccer fans. So, but well, That's awesome. Thanks for sharing about your passion. And I hope you have a good 2022 season. And I hope you stay
Thank you.
healthy. That's the main thing, is staying healthy.
That's perfect.
But when we send golfers to Ireland, hopefully they will want drivers and we can use y'all. But what do you recommend to these guys and girls for off-course activities when they're visiting Northern and Southern Ireland?
Yeah, again, there's a huge amount of stuff to see and do, and it depends on the group, and maybe the age profile of the group and a lot of what their interests are. Personally, I'm an outdoors kind of guy, so if I go to visit a place, I like to see a lot of the local landscapes and that sort of stuff. And we're lucky here in that a lot of the golf courses are in beautiful parts of the country. So if you're playing the Hinch or Doonbeg, either place is only 20 minutes away from the Cliffs of Moher. If you're up north playing Portrush or up in Bushmills, you're very close to the Giant's Causeway. So throughout the whole country, you're very close to all these scenic places. So again, it's nice. You play around the golf in the morning, have a bite of lunch. It's nice to pop out and see these picturesque places, get a few nice snaps. So I definitely would try and incorporate some of those stops into the trips if possible.
For sure. And then definitely got to catch a Gaelic football game here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. If it fits in, I'd highly recommend it. And again, the social aspect of the football match as well would need to be enjoyed. So the couple of pints in the pub afterwards would always be an experience as well.
What are the what's the main seasons for the championship games? Like, when do those usually happen?
Yeah, so it was funny. We used to laugh about it here. The All Ireland final would always have been on the third week of September, and it's funny how it falls. Our busiest week with Kerry Coaches, inevitably every year, would have been the third week of September. As you know yourself, it's quite a popular time to travel into Ireland. So that it would always have been that. Again, player welfare and stuff over the years has become more prevalent. So over the past decade or up to 15 years that I've been playing and trying to manage both, it's been quite difficult to play club and county because one year kind of ran into the other. So what they've tried to do over recent years is separate them. So what you have now is the county season now finishes in July, as opposed to September. So the All Ireland final, the big game, is now on the third week of July, and your club, which is your local games, would kick off then from the end of July, start of August, right through until we finished our season yesterday in the start of December. So for your groups coming over, the games are on a weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. So I'm sure there'd be an option for them whenever they travel during the summer.
We'll have to get a schedule so that if we do have somebody coming on that date, we'll have to get them in. How hard is it? Is it easy to get tickets to those games, or they fill up?
It is now the latter games. So your semi-finals and your finals, your big ones, they tend to be a little more difficult. If you say, for argument's sake, the All Ireland final, there's 80,000 people at the game. You could probably sell 3 or 4 times more. For that would be the requirement for. So the finals and semi-finals are difficult to get tickets for, but any of the other games would be fine. They'd have capacity for the most part.
Sweet, that's awesome. So based on your experience with having golfers come and y'all providing travel and taking them to courses, what advice do you have for golfers visiting Ireland for the first time?
Bring lots of rain gear.
That's the main thing everybody says.
Yeah. So no, look at again, Ireland is known for the rain. I don't think it would have the greenery it has without a bit of rain. So just pack appropriately for that side of stuff. Bring plenty golf balls. The grass can be nice and long over the summer. The rough can be hairy, to say the least, in some places. So from that side of you, just bring the bits and pieces, be ready to go if there is a few showers. And overall, then just get stuck in. You know, Ireland has lots to there's lots to see and do. Again, don't be worried about trying to do everything. A trip down to your local pub that's down near your hotel often ends up as one of the best nights of the trip. So enjoy the golf and enjoy the social scene around it as well. We've seen it over the years. It's a very enjoyable place to come, get stuck in and enjoy it.
Gotcha. We'll end with this question. What's the one mistake American golfers would probably schedule beforehand or do? Obviously, besides self-driving,
mm-hmm.
when visiting Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a difficult one. Again, it kind of varies. I suppose the real push we've seen over the last few years is everyone is trying to come and find the things that no one else does, or go off the beaten track, and there's a real push towards that, and maybe kind of ignoring the old school or the usual kind of places to visit and all that sort of stuff. Whereas we find a mix of both. You know, obviously you're trying to find the hidden gems, but go up to Dublin, get stuck in, go to Temple Bar. Again, it is I suppose the touristy spot or the centre of Dublin. But we just know from experience that people do enjoy it. Come into Killarney, go into Main Street, get stuck in. So if you are planning a trip, we've just seen that push over the past few years, that everyone is striving to go places where no one has ever been before. But we definitely recommend just coming over, enjoying it, getting stuck into going to the Guinness factory if you're in Dublin. Head over there. It's a great trip. It's a great couple of hours. You get to see all of Dublin from the bar up there. So don't be afraid to do the popular things, and just enjoy the trip.
Yeah, that's awesome. I agree wholeheartedly that, you know, obviously there's big touristy stuff in Ireland because it's amazing and it's culture, and you need to do it. Just because everybody else does it doesn't mean it's going to be great for you too. So yeah. I agree with you there. Well, Johnny, any last words, anything else you want to say to anybody?
No, as I say, look, it's we're just ready to go. It's been a tough couple of years business wise. And again, we love what we do. We love welcoming people over. The drivers are the same as us. They're just anxious to get back on the road and get back to the golf courses. And I know from talking to the guys at the golf courses, Ireland as a country is just ready to get back. We had a couple of months this year in the latter part of the season, August, September, October, where we welcomed American tourists back in smaller numbers. Whereas we're just all ready to get back and running next year, and we all look forward to it.
Absolutely, same here. We are ready. Thank you so much for coming on Travel Early Podcast. Hope to see you soon.
Great stuff. Thanks, Aidan. Good to talk to you.
Yep.
Okay. Cheers.
All right. See you, man. Thank you so much.
Okay. Great stuff, Aidan. Cheers. We'll see you later.
Thank you to Johnny for coming on Travel Early Podcast. Thank you for talking about your company and speaking of Gaelic football and how it really creates the rich culture of Ireland and just makes Ireland so special. If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the like, subscribe, and follow buttons. And we will see you next week. Thank you.